Spotlight in association with Space 2. Sponsored by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home. Welcome to Spotlight, brought to you by Glam Doll, coming to you from the Gaiety Theatre here in Dublin. Well, this week we are turning the spotlight onto Oscar winner Colin Firth and his co-star Stanley Tucci, who will be talking to me about their powerful drama Supernova and working together as best friends. We have fashion with our stylist Aoife Carty, who's got affordable summer dresses to suit any shape and occasion from Irish brand My Kind of Dress. And I cross over to Miami to lifestyle guru and wellness expert Gina DeVee. Forbes magazine has cited her Divine Living podcast as one of the top 7 in the world. Gina will be shining her spotlight on how we can dust off our dreams. Definitely one to watch. Oscar winner Colin Firth teams up with Stanley Tucci for their latest film, Supernova, a powerful drama delicately addressing life, love and living with dementia. The film is a moving portrayal of a gay couple struggling to come to terms with a heartbreaking destination. I recently caught up with Colin and Stanley about shining a spotlight on their stellar acting, but also their real lifelong friendship.
I'd like to make a speech. Well, maybe Sam will do it for me. I'd love that you do it for me.
Now, as most of you will know, I am slowly losing my ability to remember. And I definitely wouldn't be here if it weren't for this man next to me.
I want to be remembered for who I was, but not for who I'm about to become.
Gents, I have to be honest with you. I came away from Supernova incredibly moved because, well, it's a heartbreaking film. But Stanley, if I can start with you. You initially came on board and then passed the screenplay on to Colin. But how did Supernova come your way?
I got the script through my agents and I read it and I thought it was beautiful. You don't get scripts like that very often. And then I watched Harry's first film, Harry the director-writer, and it was beautiful. He made it for £10,000, I think. Just a gorgeous. Then I met him and he was equally as interesting and wonderful as his script and his film. And I said to him, I think Colin Firth would be great for the other fella. And he was like, oh, well, that would be amazing. Yes, of course, unbeknownst to Harry, I had given it to Colin already. And Colin read it and he said, it's beautiful. I said, I know. And then we went from there.
I didn't realise what close friends you were in real life. I believe you first met on the 2001 World War II drama Conspiracy, and your friendship has been going from strength to strength ever since. You can really see the close bond the pair of you have on screen. But Colin, were you ever worried that the director, Harry McQueen, may not offer you the role of Sam?
I don't think I ever, as soon as I wrap on a movie, I immediately feel unemployed. And, that people will just cop to the fact that I'm actually not very good. And, finally the game's up and I won't get a job. So that uncertainty lasts forever. And there was a mixed feeling because when Stan sent it to me, I had exactly the same reaction as he did to the script. An insecurity that I wouldn't actually be invited, that Stanley wasn't going to have any final say in the matter. But also there was a bit of a buzz that I was getting it on the black market. This was not coming through the official channels. This was contraband. So what I had to go on was the word, I didn't know Harry, he just made that one little film. And so I had the words on the page and the idea of doing this fantastic, intimate story with one of my best and oldest friends. So eventually, I saw Harry's film and that settled the matter as far as my wanting to do it. because combining that sensibility with what I was reading just felt completely irresistible.
Do you mind me asking, there are some very emotional and delicate moments between your characters in Supernova. In advance of shooting, do you have any set rules with your director on how you want him to direct you?
You don't really lay out rules, you know, when you go in and go like, okay, this is the way I'd like to be directed. You know, every director has their own way of doing it. And once you start working together, you work it out. And you sometimes can get to the point where you go like, don't do that. Don't say things like that to me. It's all right. You know, like I sometimes directors think that they have to remind you how to prepare or something, or how to act, and instead of just giving you active things to do. But Harry, he's a minimalist. He very seldom would say anything more than maybe do that one again, and maybe just give me a little more on that, or you know what I mean. I honestly, I can barely remember anything he said to us, if you want to know the truth, because he knew what he wanted, and he knew when he saw it if he had it or not. He was so easy to be directed by.
Guys, just before I let you go, Stanley, a few moons ago you picked up the prestigious Volta Award, and what was lovely about this year's Virgin Media Dublin International Film Festival is that not only did Supernova kick off the festival, but Colin, you picked up the Volta Award. Can I ask you what it means to be the recipient of this year's award?
The bar is very high, I feel, in Ireland in terms of taste. I'm not over romanticizing things. I know what the lapses are, but it's huge. You know, Dublin is the habitation of a lot of my greatest friends. It's some of my greatest memories. I've worked there. I wish I'd worked there more, but it's always been a great reference point, and I feel the most enormous affection. In fact, this has sort of whetted my appetite for getting back there as soon as we're allowed to do things like that. So, and to get it from Stanley, this is certainly the highlight of my year so far.
Stanley, picking up a Volta Award, what did it mean to you?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was a few years ago now, and I just had the best time. I wanted to stay longer than I did. It was a great honor, and I love going to Ireland. And like Colin said, you know, the sooner we can get back there, the better. I can't wait for all this to be over. It was a great honor.
You know, a very wise man once said, "We will not starve for lack of wonders, but from lack of wonder."
Outstanding Actors and Supernova is set for release on July 9th. Definitely one to watch. Now, joining me on the Gaiety stage is film critic Gordon Hayden. Gordon, you're very welcome to Spotlight.
Thanks, Lisa.
Now, of course, we haven't been in a cinema in so long. When are we going to get back into auditoriums, and when are we going to get the green light for it?
Well, there's still no definitive date. We're really kind of just waiting, to be honest with you. But all going well, maybe June, maybe sort of mid to late June is when we'll be back in cinemas again. So still a lot of streaming releases along the way. But we've got a lot of films to look forward to, because so many films that were due to come out last year have obviously been withheld, and now they're going to start seeing the light of day this year.
Absolutely. Let's start with the kiddies, because we've got Peter Rabbit 2. It's finally going to be released.
Yeah, well, again, last year they were hoping that it was going to tie in for an Easter release. That didn't happen. And then even earlier this year, they're kind of going, oh, maybe Easter again. No, it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, it's finally going to come out. Peter Rabbit 2, James Corden is back on vocal duties as the title character. And then Donald Gleason's back along with Rose Byrne. So the film is all shot in Australia, even though it's meant to be set in the UK, because they wanted to have that constant sunshine. But it's far removed from the Beatrice Potter classic. And I know there were some Potter files that were up in arms over this particular take. But I think for an awful lot of young kids that wouldn't have really known those old Beatrice Potter books, they absolutely lapped it up. It's a complete 180 to those books. But it really worked, hence why there's a sequel.
Absolutely. I actually can't wait to see it. And indeed, Gordon, we're over to your territory now because Zack Snyder, of course, has a new zombie movie made.
Yes.
So tell us all about this.
Yeah, this is called Army of the Dead, and Dave Bautista, who was a former wrestler turned actor, probably best known for playing Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. This is a movie where essentially they've got to go into Las Vegas. It's a dystopian type of setting. Zombies have taken over large sections of the world. But in Las Vegas, there's a vault with an awful lot of money, and Batista and his gang of misfits have to go in, get the money within a period of time. Zack Snyder, he's one of those directors, he's a very Marmite figure. His work with DC has been derided by some, adored by others. But I think for him, his best movie, believe it or not, is his remake of the Romero Dawn of the Dead. So I think he's gone back to the well to try and maybe gain a bit more kudos once again with his career.
Yeah.
And Netflix are behind it, so they're banking on a big hit.
Absolutely. Netflix are huge. I mean, obviously everyone has been watching it all through lockdown, and they keep coming, don't they? There's just so many.
Absolutely.
It's bountiful because we have The Woman in the Window.
Yeah.
That's coming to Netflix as well.
Yeah, now, mind you, with this particular one, behind the scenes, it all hasn't been plain sailing. This was originally supposed to be released by Paramount. It's directed by Joe Wright, who made the likes of Pride and Prejudice and Atonement, stars Amy Adams, based on a best-selling novel. But by all accounts, behind the scenes, it has been plagued with production problems. There was massive reshoots, so much so Paramount went, you know what, good luck to this. They know they've got a turkey on their hands, and Netflix are like, come on, there's still a little bit of value in this, we'll buy it off you. And that's what's been happening an awful lot. Paramount have been selling off a lot of their material. They sold off Coming to America to Amazon, and they sold off a number of other films to Netflix in the past. So they're happy to do deals with the streaming services. So I honestly feel that for fans of the book, which is a kind of a bit of a riff on Rear Window, I honestly feel that unfortunately I don't think they should set their hopes high for this one, unfortunately.
Okay, Gordon. Well, at least you're always honest. I love that about you. And of course, finally, we have Robin Wright. She's one of my absolute favourite actresses, and she has made her directorial debut with Land.
Yeah, this is a very powerful, emotional-looking film, and it's about a woman who has lost a child, and she just needs to escape from reality, essentially. She goes off into the wilds to try and find herself again, a log cabin, trying to get close to nature again, hoping to find herself, find her humanity again. And yeah, this is going to be a tough watch.
Okay, Gordon, thank you very much as always, and great to have you on Spotlight. Here's a little bit from Robin Wright about why the film resonates with her.
It resonated so deeply with me about how people deal with their grief. And I just felt it was an important film to make, given that time that we were in, that everybody heals in individual ways. And the story Land is about one woman's journey after a life-changing event that happens. And she decides to heal in her own way on her own terms.
Forbes has cited her as having one of the top lifestyle podcasts in the United States. She's a wellness guru, an expert, a best-selling author. It's Gina DeVee who joins me from Miami. Gina, you are very, very welcome to Spotlight. Now, you are famed all over the world for your Divine Living masterclasses and now your podcast. So let's start right there. How do we live our best life, Gina?
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much for having me. It's my most favorite topic is supporting people in living their best life. And it's all about being the best version of you. There's no competition with you, and really understanding that the epic life, not just a good life, but an epic life is absolutely available, not just for an elite few, but for everyone. That means for all of us, our dreams have not surpassed us. They're still available.
Great. So why encourage us, Gina, to try again later in life for childhood dreams or pipe dreams that never became a reality?
I think the biggest thing that we've got to remember is that our best days are ahead of us. And when we were little girls or little boys, we all had those dreams of what we wanted to be when we grew up. And now when we get into adulthood, we've gotten like so probable and predictable and practical that I say let's dust off those little kid dreams or those teenager dreams. They're going to leave clues as to what is still meant for you. I'll tell you this, I've been following a woman on TikTok, and during the pandemic, she's a musician and a piano player. Her concerts got canceled. She couldn't be in the studio. It looked like her music career was going to be stuck. She sat in her studio apartment in Los Angeles, got on TikTok, put original music out there, every day for a year. Nothing happened. And then one day, one video went viral and she ended up getting a record deal. So dust off those dreams, take that first step. You never know what's going to happen.
So true. But what motivation do you give people, Gina, to go to the well a second or even a third time to pursue their real dreams or desires?
Well, the saddest place in anyone's life is the unlived life. Our soul, for all of us, is craving so much more. And when you understand the people who are living the life that you aspire to or look up to or wish you had or thought has passed you by, the people that are living that life, they have made a decision that number one, they're worth it. Number two, they're good enough. And three, they went for it. You know, they say winners are just losers who didn't quit. So I say, Lisa, dust off those dreams, whatever they are inside of you, and you go for it too.
Back to ballet class for me then. But in all seriousness, it would take a lot of persistence and determination to change career now, no?
Persistence, determination, but really understanding the way life works. You know, we've been programmed like so falsely to say like, oh, well, if one well dries up, well, then we're done, or we're a failure, or our life is over. And I remember one time when I had a career failure and I felt the same way. I'm like, am I just a fax machine? Am I like no longer relevant? Because that's the programming that's gone on inside of us. And yet it's really naive to think that there's only one well for each of us. You know, the way life works is there's always another opportunity. There's always another open door. I was reading recently about this guy who had a job at a construction company, and he was like one of the first employees, and he was so loyal and was there for years and years and years. And then years later, the company restructured and they laid him off, just like that. Like his well dried up, gone. Well, this guy didn't have that attitude. He gathered up a couple of friends, started a new company that's now called Home Depot. So I say, Lisa, you know, just create your new next well.
Although, Gina, let's be frank, life has been very tough for all of us with the pandemic. And you always spearhead the importance of mental health, being happy in your life, and of course your work. So dusting off your dreams could be very important to happiness and fulfillment, no?
Sure. Well, as a former psychotherapist, I have great compassion and understanding for many mental health issues. And the first thing I would say is do not suffer silently. I think that so many humans think they're going to be perceived as weak or less attractive, or we don't want to impose on someone else. And there is not a human on the planet that hasn't experienced any emotion that you're struggling with right now. Depression, heartbreak, stress, worry, any of it. And when we reach out and ask for help, like people love giving advice and help and a listening ear. The next thing I would say is meet with a mentor. You know, we don't expect ourselves to do physical surgery on ourselves. And people have experienced real psychological traumas that require a psychological surgery. So I would say that when you get help from a professional, that's really needed, especially after this past year. You know, true traumas have taken place and people have experienced them. And then last I would say is movement is always great for motivation and mental health well-being. You know, Lisa, that it is scientifically proven that you cannot experience depression when you're at the gym or jogging. Like it's biologically impossible. So if you're feeling that kind of sluggishness or anxiety, take your attitude out for a walk, grab a bestie, go for a jog. It'll be good for your body and your mental well-being.
Okay, Gina, we're going to wrap it up now. A few tips and tricks, please, on how to make your dreams of yesteryear a reality.
4 tips on getting motivated. Well, I don't do anything that's not fun or easy. So the first thing I would say is when you get clear on what your dream is and what you're passionate about, go focus on it. We all know that we get what we focus on. You focus on lack, you're going to get lack. If you focus on somebody who's already doing what you want to do, then you're going to be inspired and you're going to be motivated. So go stalk someone on social media. Next thing I would say is DM them, leave a comment, something that says thank you. You know, the universe has eyes, and when you are literally thanking someone for showing you what is possible for you, then there's going to be a ripple effect there. And then take action. Take some small step that's going to move you forward in the direction of your dream. Like we were talking about before, buy a keyboard, take a walk, like do one thing, take one step, because that step will lead to the next step. And most importantly, believe that something more is available for you and meant for you and is actually waiting for you.
Great advice, Gina. We are sadly out of time. So finally, your book, it's out now and already a bestseller, so tell us more.
Sure. Thanks, Lisa. My book is called The Audacity to Be Queen, The Unapologetic Art of Dreaming Big and Manifesting Your Most Fabulous Life. So there's lots of client examples, personal examples, tips, tools, exercises. So you can get your hands on a hard copy, Kindle, audio, any of it.
Gina, thank you for taking the time to be with us here on Spotlight. We look forward to welcome you back very soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
The spotlight is now on fashion with My Kind of Dress, an Irish brand who have some pretty affordable summer dresses to suit you, whatever your shape. Now, I have some personal favourites for birthdays and barbecues, but we have stylist Aoife Carty on hand to talk us through 3 stylish pieces. Aoife, you're very welcome on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome. Now, obviously the weather's a bit changeable at the moment. You know, we haven't hit June yet, but you've got some great little pieces that I think we can kind of, as us women are, we need a little bit of comfort, but we also need a bit of warmth, and you've been great at pulling some pieces. So what have you got for us?
Thank you. So we're stepping into summer now, so plenty of bright colours and prints. So I've gone for 3 different kind of dresses, and then hopefully I have a dress for everyone in here. So my first look is with the lovely Lena. So I've gone for a lovely red wrap dress, floral print. It has gorgeous cap sleeves and it has that lovely slit, which is really, really flattering, I think, in the wrap detail.
What I love about it is the colour though, because these kind of cherry reds, bright reds, you know, we need a bit of colour. I know I'm in black today and I'm a bit boring, but I mean, those really are the ones that pop, like what you've got on today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we have it in red and we also have it in green, white and black. So loads of colours, and it's only $44.95, which I think is a steal because it's such a gorgeous dress.
Indeed. I mean, when we're talking about occasions, you know, barbecues, obviously, you know, not everything is reopened yet, so we could even do something like this with a christening. What would you suggest we would team it with?
I'd probably team it with a pair of heels and a little clutch, but you could also dress it down, a little denim jacket and some runners would also be gorgeous for a lovely barbecue. So,
okay, and of course our arms being the thing that I always talk about because I like them covered. There is a little bit of warmth in this, and of course there's a little bit of shape for women on the slightly larger side.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. I think the curve, any curve shape, the wrap detail is so flattering, so I think it's great.
Great, and size-wise, how are we on this dress?
Yeah, good. We have small, medium and large, so cater for a lot of sizes.
Indeed. Now, we're going to move on because I love greens. They're vibrant, they're fun, they bring a bit of freshness, and you've got a beautiful piece for us today.
Yeah, I love this dress. It's something really cool, a bit different if you want to stand out at something. So we're seeing a lot of like colour blocking and prints at the minute on trend, so I thought this dress would be perfect. I think it's gorgeous for communions, confirmations, weddings, anything like that.
Indeed. Bolder prints now, Aoife. You've gone a bit bolder for us today.
But yeah, I really like this one. And then the puff sleeve detail as well. I think a bit of coverage and it's gorgeous. And then on the waist it has this change in print, which I think is really flattering.
Yeah, indeed. The length is good as well because we don't sometimes take that into account. I mean, you've got a kind of a midi dress length on, depending, and I'm short as well. So do you think somebody on the shorter side could get away with something like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think the shorter length is really flattering and it's nicer on someone a bit shorter. I think it can accentuate the legs and make them look a bit taller if that's what they're looking for.
Price point wise, where are we on this one?
This one, well, I think it's quite good. It's $59.95 and I think it looks quite designer, so I think it is a good price.
Yeah. We've got to bring in a little bit of pink. You know, we're in the spring, summer time. Pink to me just resonates with kind of beauty and freshness, but it's a really soft colour as well for women of all skin tones.
Yeah, I think pink really suits blondes, brunettes, anyone. Like, I think it's just gorgeous colour. I love this dress so much. I think it's just so flattering. I love the little hem detail here on the waist. It really brings you in, and then the long sleeves. I think it's gorgeous colour. So I have this paired with some pink heels as well, because I think pink on pink, why not?
Indeed. Why do you think this particular pink dress was the one you went for? You know, obviously you've thought about what you wanted for today.
Yeah, I think it's just quite vibrant, so it's a bit of colour for summer. Like, everyone's been wearing a lot of black for winter, so it's just kind of brightens it up, and I think it's really flattering with every kind of skin tone as well.
Okay.
It's lovely.
And of course you've brought some reasonable prices for us today. As we said, we're under the kind of €60 mark for this. Again, I presume with this dress today.
Yeah, $59.95 as well, and it's available in size 8 to 16. So.
Okay, fantastic. Aoife, what I love about today, you've brought so many beautiful dresses for my kind of dress, but they're the jewel tones, the pastel colours. We're out of our leggings because we've all been in black for so long.
Yeah, true. Thank God we're out of the leggings and the black clothes. I think everyone needs a bit of colour for summer. So.
Indeed, break out a bit of colour. Of course, if anyone likes the dresses seen today on Spotlight, where can they find them?
At mykindofdress.com.
Okay, and is there a code or discount? I believe you have one.
Yeah, there's My Kind of Dress 30 for all Spotlight viewers discount code.
Added bonus for us all. Thank you so much, Aoife, for joining us on the show. And of course, we're going to see you again next week. Coming up on Spotlight next week, I chat exclusively to US TV host Kat Sadler. You'll know Kat from E! News.
Hi everybody, I'm Kat Sadler and you're watching Spotlight with Lisa Cannon. Enjoy!
After 12 years on E! Entertainment, Kat is giving us the juicy shakedown on all things Hollywood, plus her new podcast. Breaking Bad star Bob Odenkirk will be talking to me about his new flick Nobody, and we have more fashion from Irish brand dresses.ie. We'll be back again here next week in the Gaiety Theatre, shining a light on all the entertainment that matters. We're going to leave you now with a little bit from the film Nobody. We'll chat to you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
There's a long dormant piece of me that so very badly wants out.
What are you still doing here, old man?
It's been a hell of a day.
You can see that.
Spotlight in association with Space 2. Sponsored by Glam Doll, bringing Hollywood home.